Good morning and welcome to Mr. Anderson's 6th grade science class. I hope you all are doing well today. Today we'll start out by going around the room and saying one good thing that has happened to them yesterday. Before we start, I'd like to say if anybody does not have any notes, notepads, pencils, or pens, I have some up here at my desk if it is needed. Today we will be going through something that is called the scientific method. You may think that the scientific method is just something that scientists use in research projects and in laboratories and places like that, but it is actually something that you can use in everyday life, in the classroom, at home, as well as many other places. So our goal today is for each student to know each step of the scientific method, break down each step of the scientific method, and know how they can apply the scientific method to any aspect of their life. So today we'll start off by listing out the steps of the scientific method briefly and then diving into each part and going into it more thoroughly. So the first step is an observation. The second step is the question that you ask. The third step is the hypothesis. Fourth is the prediction of what you think will happen with the hypothesis. The next step is the result. And the last and final step is the conclusion and analyzation of the hypothesis and the result. So today we'll be using a PowerPoint to go through each step, as well as once we conclude, each student will be put into a group of 4 and will create their own presentation on how they can use the scientific method to go through their own problem or question that they might have that they would go through in a regular day life situation. We'll also be using a website called at brainpop.com, which will allow the students, such as yourselves, to break down in a fun environment online and allow them to dive deeper into the facts of the scientific method. So each student will have access to a computer that's provided in the library center, and each group of 4 will collaboratively work together and put together a great presentation that they will also present to me and as well in front of the entire class next week. If anybody has any questions with PowerPoint, you can ask me, you can ask one of the library assistants, or maybe one of your fellow students that might have more knowledge to PowerPoint. The technology that we'll use, like I said, would be the website as well as the PowerPoints, and you can dive into it more at home if you'd like, and I will send you guys home with notes from our presentation today and the PowerPoint as well. Each group will be put together by going through a group of 4. So I'll number you off 1 through 4, and then each number will be put together and that will be your group. If there are any problems or any issues that we might have to rearrange the groups just to accommodate the learning. So my first question to you guys is, do you ever see a problem or something that you see happen during the day that you wish you knew the answer to? The scientific method is a perfect way to dive into that and help maybe find a solution that you might not have thought about when you just look at it and pass by. So the question I have is how you can apply the scientific method to the real world. And we'll start by doing an example. So say you walk by a light switch and you turn on that light switch and it doesn't work. And this is a very simple problem that a lot of you guys might have experienced, but the scientific method can help you dive into that a little bit more. And this is a very basic example of the scientific method. So you turn on the light doesn't work. Your initial thought is, the light bulb doesn't light. Your next step, and that's the observation, your next step would be the question. Is the light bulb blown out, or is the light bulb old, or why is it not working? Your hypothesis would be that the light bulb needs to be replaced, or the light bulb is blown. So then, your prediction would be, if you replace the light bulb in the fixture, that the light will turn on once you replace the light bulb. The experiment is that you replace the bulb, put in the new bulb into the light fixture, and you wait to see what happens. So then, you perform the experiment by putting that in, you turn the switch on, and the light bulb turns on. So, the conclusion in the analysis would be that your hypothesis is confirmed, and the light bulb was blown, and the experiment confirmed that. There are many other experiments, there are many other problems that you can do. Another simple one would be the batteries in your remote don't work. What do? You say, are the batteries dead, or are they corroded, or something like that. So you go and you replace the batteries. You ask yourself, are the batteries blown, or are the batteries corroded? Your hypothesis is the batteries are corroded, they don't work anymore, they need to be replaced. You replace the batteries, that's the experiment. You turn them on, your hypothesis is correct if the batteries are working. If not, the remote could be replaced, and you analyze that in your conclusion, in your final analysis of the experiment. So while it may not seem like an experiment, there are many experiments that you can do every single day. So after the presentation that we just had, there is going to be a small quiz at the end of class, as well as you'll break out into your groups that we have numbered off into groups of 4, and you guys will work collaboratively together to make a PowerPoint. As well as, at the end of the class, we'll have a think sheet that everybody will fill out, and there are multiple questions that need to be answered, and these will also be done in your groups of 4 to help you guys. If you guys may have questions, I would suggest that you guys try to work internally in your groups and feed off of each other and try to learn through each other's knowledge and experiences, as well as if you really need a question, you can ask me or one of the library assistants or teaching assistants. So, there will be a rubric that I'll also pass out to you guys that will help you guys base what I want to see in your guys' presentation. So, finally, we'll go through the 5 questions on the think sheet that you guys will break into your groups. I'm just going to give you a preview of it. So, how many steps are there in the scientific method? What can the scientific method be used for? What is the 3rd step of the scientific method? Who uses the scientific method? And does the scientific method only have to be used in a school setting, or can it be used in other settings as well? So, in closure, is there any questions that you guys have about your presentations, the websites that you will be using for fun to learn more about the scientific method? Or is there any questions that you guys may have about the actual scientific method? If so, you can reach me by coming up to me after class, by emailing me, or like I said, seeing me during class at a time where we may have a break or your group may need assistance. So with that, the lesson is concluded, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I hope you guys have a great day and a great rest of the school day.